your hands together and scream with delight, because we're going to give you Sarah Finch. Who's already snuck up on me. Sarah, I'll hold that. You hold this. Tell us why we all think you're the hero of the hour, and don't be modest.
Well, I, along with my colleagues in the amazing Weald Action Group, we won a massive court victory in the Supreme Court just there this week. We won a fight that we've been fighting for 5 years. Yeah, we've been fighting, well, more than 5 years, but 5 years through the courts against a little oil site in Surrey, that Surrey County Council gave planning permission to build 4 more oil wells and to produce oil for 20 years, yes, in a climate emergency. We thought this was wrong because they hadn't looked at the emissions that would result from the burning of the oil when they gave permission for the drilling of the wells. So we went to the court initially thinking we'd just get this planning permission for this one little site turned down, but it soon became apparent that we could actually tackle the whole planning system for oil and gas. And our win this week means that as from now, anybody who wants to drill an oil well, dig a coal mine, get gas out of the ground, they have to do a proper environmental impact assessment that takes account of the emissions of that fuel when it burns. Thank you. I mean, it sounds obvious, I think, to anyone here. You think the emissions from the oil that is burned is an impact of getting it out of the ground, because if you left it in the ground, it couldn't be burned and the emissions couldn't arise. You'd be amazed how many lawyers we've heard working for the government, the oil company, West Cumbria coal mine, who else? Surrey County Council, saying that that wasn't the case. But we won, and that applies now not only to all future oil, gas and coal developments, but some that have been already permitted, but are subject to legal challenge. So, Cumbria coal mine, Rosebank, massive giant oil and gas field in the North Sea, Jackdaw, Biscathorpe onshore oil well in Lincolnshire. Give it a cheer, Biscathorpe. Yeah. If Horse Hill is illegal, they are too. And a friend of mine in Scotland sent me a photo of the front page of the Scottish Daily Mail. It said, "This court ruling, it kills off the oil industry." So thank you.
Sarah, no, thank you. Let's hear it for Sarah. And the Weald Action Group, of course. A landmark judgment that could change all of our futures, made by a tiny group of people. Is there anyone in this crowd that thinks that they are not empowered because they're just one drop in an ocean? Because every single one of you may be a drop, but what is an ocean but a multitude of drops? Sarah has proved that if you take people on and you're right, you win. And that meritocracy is shone through. And let's be clear about today. I'm sure many of you out there have never been on a demonstration before. You would never have been able to go home and say to your friends and relatives, "I am an activist." You've taken action. You've taken to the streets. You've empowered yourself to make a difference. You've used your voice. You are shouting above their noise. That is powerful. We are together powerful, and we must use that power. So as Fergal says, this is not the beginning. It's the beginning that's going to run and run and run, because on July the 5th we'll be banging on that door, asking for what we need to restore nature now. Go home, tell your friends, tell your family, tell all the people that couldn't make it that today you were an activist on a demonstration that made a difference. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sarah.
can do by using their voices, by shouting above the noise. It can really demonstrate how far things can go. And obviously that massive success is going to have ripples throughout the world. And sometimes we think, well, what difference can I make in my small area, in my town, in my country? We have to think worldwide. Act local, act global, think local. I think that's one of the most important phrases that we've got. And up next is an amazing Indigenous activist. She fights for the